In a lifetime, a person will go through countless heroes' journeys. Whether they are big or small ones, it's inevitable that some will go through them. I myself can name some journeys that I have overcome and am still overcoming. One important adventure I overcame this past year was my trip to Scotland. A limited amount of people are able to experience something like this. Going to an entirely different country opens your eyes to the diverse world that you live in. This past September, I also started another journey of my own. It would be my first year at high school. Going from middle school to high school is a big step for most kids. For me, it meant raising the bar, no pun intended. I knew that I would have to be more responsible and hardworking. So when I found out that I was going to have to leave for an entire week, I knew that I was going to have to work harder than ever. In October, my great-grandmother turned 100 years old. She's definitely experienced a plethora of her own hero adventures in a lifetime. I couldn't wait to see her and talk to her about them. The trip there was smooth sailing for everyone. But once we got out of the airport, we had a little bit of trouble figuring out what the plan was. Of course, my only concern was finding out what the Wi-Fi password was. Eventually, we were on our way to Brodie Ferry, where my grandmother lives. Along the way, we had to talk to some people to make sure we were going the right way. The only problem is that Scottish people have a very thick accent. Even though they speak English, it's still quite difficult to understand their dialect. Thankfully, we had my grandmother, who was born and raised here, to help us along the way. Also, we had a little bit of trouble driving on the opposite side of the road, but my dad wouldn't admit it. When we finally got there, I got to see my great-grandmother. For a 100-year-old, she was looking great. She was so happy to show us her letter from the Queen of England that said congratulations on making it this far. Her journey of life was filled with many adventures, and now she was able to celebrate them with all her friends and family. The next day, it was time for her party. Only if we would ever wake up. Converting to the Scotland time was also very hard for my family and I.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna.
After the party, we had a week to do anything we wanted. One fun thing we did was visit one of the many castles in Scotland. We went 2 hours away to a castle called Glamis Castle. It was very interesting and fun, until the ride back. Unfortunately, one of our tires got slashed, so we had to wait on the side of the road until someone passed us to use their phone. It was taking a while, so I thought it was the perfect time to catch up on some homework. Eventually, we were able to call someone to pick us up to get us back home. We were picked up by a truck and finally made it back to the hotel. Oh wait, you were supposed to see this! During the rest of the week, we spent time with family and toured around Scotland. I was able to go to town to see what it was like there. I tried different foods and shopped at different stores. Just kidding, I had fish and chips for almost every meal. We were also able to go to St. Andrews to see the university. It was a beautiful place that I one day wish to study at. On this trip, I learned a lot about the culture of Scotland. It was a fun learning experience for me, and it was great to be able to see my great-grandmother again. Can't wait to see her again in another 5 years.